My name's Eli Delaney, and I have the honor of meeting some pretty cool people. These are the entrepreneurs, the artists, the creatives, the game changers that are making a positive impact in the people that they meet. And I'm a firm believer that the people that you meet can get you anywhere you want to go. And this show is my way of sharing them with you. It's my way of also helping you meet cool people. All right, welcome back, everybody. Eli here, and today on Meet Cool People, I have Mr. Michael Buzinski. He is a decorated U.S. Air Force veteran, serial entrepreneur, host of a U.S. Top 12 marketing podcast, best-selling author, and dubbed visionary marketer by the American Marketing Association. He has a mission to create 17 million jobs in America by 4040, and he and I had the pleasure to hang out over a dinner here in the DFW area a while back, had a great time, and have become really good friends ever since. So with that said, Michael, thanks for coming and hanging out with me today.
Hey, how's it going, Eli?
Doing good. Running like a madman, as always.
There you go.
So tell us a little bit about how your marketing stuff. Tell us a little bit about what it is you do and the clients that you're helping with. Just go ahead and set the stage that way.
Sure. So Buzzworthy Strategies is just that. It's a strategy firm. I had I've been in business for 20 years. The first 13 years of it was as a creative agency where we did all the things like creative agencies do, everything creative. And we started getting into strategy in the later years of that. And I burnt myself out and realized that we were actually not serving our clients as well as we could because we were allowing the creative agency feeding that beast, because without the creative stuff, you've got people not doing anything. So we were allowing people to come into our ecosystem without strategy. And we would finally get around to strategy once they trusted us, but it wasn't the proper sequence of events, right? So basically we're doing what I call now random acts of marketing. And that's where we allow tactics to lead strategy versus sound strategy dictating tactics. And so in 2019, I started Buzzworthy and shut down a multi-million-dollar creative agency to basically build what we have now, which is one of America's top strategy firms, where we work with multi-million-dollar and 8-figure B2B service-based businesses. Okay. And so that's businesses who serve businesses, and usually in the white collar space. So your consultancies, your accountants, your technology firms, those types of businesses out there. We have people that are, that do things like commercial contracting and whatnot, but 9 times out of 10, we're in that white collar B2B space. Nice. And we lead with strategy, and we build what's called a marketing operating system so that the leads that their marketing is bringing in actually end up as what we call sales qualified leads later on, right? And then integrating those. So that's in a nutshell what Buzzworthy is all about.
Nice. I think it's really important to bring this up because you said it here is like most people, they always think, most business owners, they think they need the latest, greatest thing. So they need a great new website. They need this new lead magnet, or they need this amazing video that's going to go viral. But you brought up the fact that most people don't think about the strategy behind it and having that big picture strategy to run all these things. And they're starting off of the shiny object tactic, not the strategy, which that's what I've ran into as well. Because I used to do a lot more wider arena of marketing, and I did a lot of different things helping people. And I narrowed it down specifically for me to the email marketing stuff, because that's what I do. But even email marketing, people are talking about, it's like, well, I just need you to write some emails for me. It's like, okay, let's look at the big picture strategy behind this.
Right.
What's going to happen, because we're not just writing some emails, because that's not going to work very well.
No.
So yeah, I think it's really important to talk about the strategy and the importance of why strategy is always the critical component to run above and beyond any of the tactics that are out there.
Right. And I think that when you talk about strategy and tactics, people are like, what's the difference? Right? Like, what's the difference between a tactic and a strategy? And a tactic is what you do, right? Strategy is how you're going to approach it.
Yes.
Right. And what are you expecting out of it? So a tactic by itself is like, hey, I need more leads. But do you? See, people don't realize that sometimes less is more, but they
Yes.
have no strategy to dictate how many they actually need. And
Right.
that goes back to a book I'm writing right now, which is the 50-50 marketing paradox.
Nice.
50% of your marketing is working,
Mhm.
but you don't know which 50 because you don't know your numbers. And therefore, you hold on to all of the tactics because you're
Mhm.
afraid if you let go of the wrong one, those leads are going to dry up.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I get that. It's so funny, because that's a great it's a great one for people to think about because the fact that a lot of times people aren't tracking any of it. They don't know where their leads are coming from. Like, so one of the things for about me, I love the fact that I know where my leads come from. I have my referral leads.
Mhm.
That's always great, but the mass majority of my leads come from my speaking. That's
Mm.
where they come from. Nothing else.
Mhm. Right.
The other stuff is all ancillary support content, but the speaking is where they see me speak. They
Mhm.
might go check out all the social media and see all the other things that I'm doing, which is cool because then that helps make it more concrete.
Mhm.
But it's the speaking that's where, okay, yeah, I saw you speak here and I know I need to talk to you. How can you help me?
Right.
And for me, that's why people always ask me is like, okay, so what's your best, the best thing that you're doing? It's like speaking always 100%.
Right. Right.
And I can do all these bazillion other things. The rest of them, yeah, a lot of them are just for fun.
Podcasting is another way of doing
Absolutely.
the same thing, I mean, the podcast
Hmm.
that's why we do this is to give the value,
Right.
but and just like we do in speaking, but having the strategy would then for you is like, okay, so we understand that speaking creates traction.
Hmm.
And so now the strategy is, okay, what does that look like from speaking to sales, from sales to close? That's
Right.
the overarching
Yep.
pathways. Is really what you're talking about. It's the roadmap,
Yeah.
right? And then it's like, okay, so what's going to get us from point A to point B to point C to point D on the roadmap? Well, those
Hmm.
are the tactics. Those are the vehicles that get us through that journey, and we call it the client success path,
Hmm.
right? And so for us, we have 6 stages of that client success path because a
Okay.
lot of marketers they have a normal funnel
Right.
that is like, okay, we got the top of the funnel where there, and a lot of people, it depends on which funnel you go after because there's 1,000 of them out there.
Right.
And but the most common one is you have problem aware
Hmm.
at the top, right? And some people say above the funnel, which is like they have a problem they're not even aware of, and so then there's demand generation is what that's called. So yeah, so a simple one though is problem aware, not solution aware. Then as they get down into the funnel, now they're problem aware and solution aware, but not vendor aware or brand aware, right?
Right.
And then you get a little further down. Now they're getting into what we call the commercial intent of like, okay, I'm looking at the people who can solve this problem.
Right.
And then you
Actively
get
aware. Yeah.
actively now you're in
Mhm.
decision mode. You're
Right.
comparing is like there's a bunch of ways to say it. And then you have the close.
Right.
And technically there's really just three steps in that. Some people cut it up in a bunch of different ones, and that's fine. But that's where most marketers stop.
Mhm.
They don't realize how much more marketing has to come after the close of the sale. You have your
Right.
onboarding. Your first 30 days with your clients dictate how long they'll be clients,
Absolutely.
right? So your onboarding has marketing involved in that. That's not client success is part of marketing. It
Mhm.
feeds marketing. Sales success feeds should have a feedback to marketing so that
Right.
we understand what people are uh, they're acting upon. What gets traction in a sales call should be translated into the marketing call so that it continues to get ingrained into your client's head that yes, this is what you need to solve the problem you have, right? Because
Yes.
that's all. As service-based businesses, we have one purpose: solve the problem,
Yes.
right? And for you, it's like, hey, like nurturing people is a big problem because they get a lead and then the
They
lead
do nothing
vanishes.
with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they
Right.
didn't do what you do, which is
Exactly.
nurture them and say, hey, guess
Right.
what? It's not just this you have a problem with. You're going to also have this problem. And once you solve this problem, you're going to have this problem. And you're educating them all the problems they have. And it's like,
Mhm.
but it all, and for most of your clients, I'm sure it comes all back to the one problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and that's one of the things too is that Like for me, I've had the luck of, I guess luck isn't the right word for it. It's been a lot of work for it, but I get clients who stick with me for way, way longer than average. Like I
Right.
had when I shut down my web hosting company, which was actually February of this year, which is 2025.
Mhm.
These are people who'd been with me for 30 years.
Mhm.
And I mean, it's like I shut down the quote unquote web company 15 years ago, but I didn't kick them out. I
Uh-huh.
basically my rule of thumb was as long as the server's paying for itself
Yeah.
and they decide to stick around, I'll keep helping them.
There you go.
And if they come to me and say, "Hey, so and so wants to do this and they want to do the hosting. I'm really sorry." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, no problem." And they would leave. I
Yeah.
still had 5 clients who'd stuck with me almost the entire 30 years.
Nice.
And I finally was like, "Guys, I've been losing money on this server for 5 years, and I've just been ignoring it. I need to move on." And they were like, "You know what? I totally understand." And I helped them hook them up with the company that I was actually, the reseller through, basically.
Right.
They were the ones that housed my server.
Sure.
But it was just so funny because I stopped and I was like, "That's 30." Some of these people were literally 30 years they've been
Yeah.
with me.
It ain't
But
broke, don't fix it.
that's that long-term nurture. So you got to
Yeah.
stay in front of people because
Yeah.
the reality is, we all know this. Anybody who's been in marketing at any time knows that it's harder to get a new client in the door than it is to get them to spend more money by like 10 times.
Yeah, an average is 7 to 8 times more time, energy, and money to get a new lead than it is to retain a current client.
Exactly.
So that's the other side of the sales funnel, right? Or
Mhm.
the client
Yep.
value journey is we talk about anchor, right?
Mhm.
So it's like those first 30 days I was mentioning, that first 30 days, you got to get a win.
Right.
You gotta get your quick wins in, right? Because then that anchors them in. Oh, I get quick wins with these people. And then you're based on those wins, right?
Mhm.
So if you wait 90 days to get a win, they're going to be pretty fatigued by then and they're going to go, that wasn't really worth the squeeze,
Right.
right? And so if I can get so for us, we look to get the first win in 3 weeks. So
Okay.
that way if they drag their tail, we have another, that another week there that allows us to show
Mhm.
the win. Because sometimes most of us will say the person who slows down the process the most is our clients,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah.
you got to take that in.
Absolutely.
So you got to take that into account when you're looking at when you're going to give a win. Because
Mhm.
we could give a win in 2 weeks. We're like, okay,
Right.
we'll give it 3 weeks, which then if they drag their feet is still 4 weeks, and we've still given them a win, right? And we
Right.
give a big win at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Everybody gets the same one, and you want that, because you're solving for the problem that they
Mhm.
need to solve before you can go deeper into the relationship, right? For
Right.
like you, it's like, I want email. Why? Let's solve the problem of why, because if
Yeah.
you don't solve that problem, everything else we do is for naught, right?
Yeah.
And so once you have anchored them, now you have an opportunity to what we call advance your relationship. Advancing is also, in some people call it expansion of the
Mhm.
relationship. So they're spending more money with you to solve bigger problems. Because what happens when we solve the one problem, we create the next problem, and it's usually bigger because the bigger the company gets, the bigger the problems are.
Right.
They never No business stops having problems. There is no such thing
Right.
as a
They just
business
have
without
they
problems.
just have different problems. It's different,
Yeah, it's just a bigger is it what
different
we
levels.
call, next level, different devil,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And so once you've done that enough times, you automatically create advocates. And a lot of people are like, yeah, we get reviews, or they'll say, yeah, but they don't know. It's like, well, we'll get 2 reviews this month and maybe 4 reviews that month, or maybe one every 6 months, right?
Mhm.
Especially in the B2B space, where a lot of times they're not that we haven't trained our clients because we think we're bugging them to get a review,
Right.
then we got to come back and say, well, now we want you to do a case study with us. Now we want you to publish that case study somewhere else, right? Well, this is
Mhm.
all advocacy. The referrals is also a thing that we go, well, they just do it. Or do they
Yeah.
do it? Or do
No,
you
they don't.
engineer it?
Yeah, you have to ask it. You have to
Right.
ask for it.
Right. So you
Absolutely.
have like 4 pieces just in that part. Well, that's all
Mhm.
marketing,
Yeah.
right?
No,
And so the
absolutely.
marketing piece comes all the way around, because now you can use this case studies, you're using your reviews, that all feeds back into attraction again. So
Mhm.
your track just comes right back into that first stage, and that's why we call it, the honeycomb. client success. I'm sorry, I can't talk today. The honeycomb client flywheel.
Right.
Right? Say that 10 times fast. So because it feeds upon itself, because the referrals do the same thing. Because even you give
Mhm.
me a referral, I still got to go through the attract phase because they're in the sales funnel. I got to get them to activate first, and then we have to go to the approval phase of like,
Right.
are they a good fit for us? Like, how many clients have you had to say, or prospects have you had to say no to because they just weren't a good fit?
Oh yeah. And that's a hard one for a lot of businesses to do, is to actually be very clear on who they will and won't work with in order to have that.
Or
That's a whole
when
different,
to
or
say it. See,
when.
this is the problem.
Yeah.
We say we're not going to do it,
Hmm.
but we don't know when not to do it.
Right.
So I have a client that we were working with just earlier this week, and they're like, well, we need some more. We had set a floor. We're like, okay, we're only working with clients that are above this threshold here. It's like,
Hmm.
yeah, but those they have longer sales cycles, and we need a little more cash flow. So I was thinking we could take a couple of these other folks, right? And we
Right.
we have this thing what we call the P3P, which is the predictably profitable prospect. Okay. And your predictably profitable prospect hits three filters. One is your core values. Do you guys have similar core values? Because if you don't, that's going to be bad juju. And if you do, your sales cycle goes down, your trust level goes way up. And so
Hmm.
decisions along the way are great. They go faster and they trust you. So you're not having to pull teeth to get what needs to get done, right?
Right.
The second one is a culture filter. And this is how you do business, right?
Hmm.
So if I'm a methodical company and I have a agile client, what are we going to have here but a bunch of friction?
Right.
And that friction is going to cost you client retention and employee retention, because that friction creates anxiety and all the other things that comes with friction. So it costs you a lot of money to have that friction. The
Yeah.
third filter is delivery fit. Is your client ready to take full advantage of the outcome you know you are going to deliver? Because if they can't, they will blame you for the lack of leverage created by what you did.
Hmm.
And it's
Yeah.
going to be your responsibility, your reputation, not theirs. No matter how well you did it, when they talk to their friends, they're like, I just spent a bunch of money on blah, 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 and they didn't give me nothing.
Right.
Or did they do everything they said they did and you didn't take action? And if you can't have all three of those, you are setting yourself up what we call the PITA, the pain in the ass client.
Right.
And the more PITAs you have, the less profitable you are. So,
And the less fun. That's
yeah.
a big one. That's the biggest thing for me. I've got to be fun, have fun what I'm doing, and I got to
Mhm,
love working with clients. Like I even tell people, I've done this for years actually. When I, again, speaking from stage, I always tell them from stage, I'm like, um, you know, there's a lot of different ways that we could work together based on where you are in your business, what you need, and what we even offer. But the
mhm,
reality is that I'm not even giving you a possible price until we actually just have a real conversation. Because
mhm.
number one, I want to see where you are to see, I make sure I'm putting you in the right bucket for how I can help you the best. But number two, I want to make sure I like you. Because
Right,
reality is, if I don't like you, I don't want to have to give you your money back because you're a jerk.
right,
And I'm going to know that in that first call.
right.
And the funny thing is, I have said that from stage, and people are just like, really? And I'm like, oh, yeah. No, I'm very clear about that. Because we've been there, we have those
Yeah.
situations.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I want to back up a little bit because you covered a lot of stuff right there. You were talking about getting those first wins.
Mhm,
So, what are some examples of the types of quick wins that we could be giving our clients? Like for
mm,
me, I know what I'm using is like we use the Bring Them Back campaign, which I know you're familiar with. That's
mhm,
the first one that we're going to go. It's like, okay, how do we get a quick win? Well, let's talk to the people we haven't been talking to properly and get them
mhm.
to respond, and we send out, literally, it's a 3 email campaign. And usually the first email blows them away because they're just like, I had more responses on this one email than I've ever had on combined on anything I've done.
Right.
There's your quick win. And we got that within a week. Right.
There you go.
But
That's awesome.
what are some of the other types of things that clients, especially the types of clients that you're working with, what are
Mhm.
some of the types of quick wins that we could be working on to help get that solid foundation?
The anchor, right?
Yeah.
You're anchoring on those first wins.
Yep.
This is where your marketing comes in. We have a framework called Focus to Fit. Okay. So a lot of people are, if you're under $1 million, you're in what we call product or offer market fit. And even when you're in your seven figures, most people haven't figured this out. But this is the
Mhm.
thing that continually delivers to the market, and you're able to deliver on that promise over and over again.
Right.
So most people don't know what that is because they do all the things, right? You're saying
Right.
you're an accountant. You're like, well, their books are good looking, and we saved them $20,000 on their taxes, and hey, their audit took only 30 days instead of the 90 days it usually does, right? They think of all of these other types of things.
Right.
So it's different for everybody because it should be. Because if you're an accountant and everybody's promising the same thing, there's no differentiation. No
Right.
differentiation, you have no leg to stand on of like, why
Right.
should I be picked by you? So we created
Mhm.
a framework called FOCUS. It's an acronym that stands for Fix One Clearly Urgent Struggle. Okay,
Okay.
focus. Okay. If you can find the one problem that most of your best clients are dealt with before they met you, you have
Mhm.
identified the one clearly urgent struggle. Okay. And if you can fix that one thing quickly,
Right.
then there. So I'll give you an example of what we do. So we realized that we were allowing people to come in without a strategy. But if I sit there and say, hey, Mr. Prospect or Mrs. Prospect, we need a strategy before we go there. And they go, no, I just need leads. We understand that, but you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
Now we have to denigrate their knowledge and their expertise by telling them that they don't
Uh-huh.
know what they don't know, and that's never a
Right.
good thing to do. So we finally say, hey, listen, when you go to the doctor and you say you got this symptom, do you tell them what it is and tell them how to do it, how to cure it? No. And that's just like every one of us. Everybody who's listening right here. You have people who come to you with a self-diagnosis. How
Yeah.
many times have we gone to the doctor? I think I got the flu, doc. And he goes, nope, you got emphysema. Oh, shoot. Well, that's different, right?
Right.
And so we do a diagnostic. And we do this diagnostic, which everybody does, but we do it in a what we call a packaged deal, right? Like
Right.
it's what we call productized services. Okay. So we productize this diagnostic comes with three things. It comes with a SWOT analysis, which we look at their strengths, their weaknesses, their opportunities, trends, and threats, right?
Mhm.
This is where you sit. I can't tell you what to do in marketing unless I understand this, right?
Right.
And then I got to see what this looks like against your competitors before I can give you any advice, right? And so we do a competitor analysis. Now I've just given you insight that you probably never thought to even look for.
Mhm.
That's win number one in that one service. Okay.
Right.
Win number two is we give them a 90-day roadmap of what they need to do first to get them pointed in the right direction.
Right.
And every one of
Well,
those is different. And we spill it out. They can walk away with it knowing exactly what to do if they wanted to, or
right.
have most of the time they say, hey, so can you guys just make this happen?
Right. Well,
Boom.
that's I mean, you're giving them the strategy. It's like, okay, here's the strategy. Here's what you really need. And when they see it, because a lot of times they think they know what they need,
Hmm.
but they don't know better. And if you just say, well, this is what you need, they're going, no, I want this. But if you actually show them,
Hmm.
here's the roadmap to see success, they can see that bigger picture. Then it's like, oh, this
So
is the
I
path I
give
should.
them what they want,
Yeah.
but I got
Mhm.
so yeah,
You give it at a different angle.
we
Mhm.
yeah, but we show them what they want, we give them what they need.
Right.
Every one of us does this,
Yeah.
right? Like the accountant's like, hey, you could go to your accountant, like, I want to save money on my taxes. So what
Mhm.
you need to do is you might need better bookkeeping, but we're not
Right.
going to know that unless we do an audit, right?
Right.
So if I tell people that diagnostic versus a strategy, and the strategy is just the thing
Mhm.
that they actually wanted, but what they needed before a strategy can happen properly is doing the diagnostic.
Right.
And so I now create those two wins right there. I just had a gentleman that we did a review with earlier this week, and he's like, this is absolutely amazing. He thought he just needed to run some pay-per-click to get new clients,
Right.
right? Google ads. And we're like, yeah, that would be great, but how does that fit into everything else? Well, we don't have anything else.
Right.
Well, let's find out what you do have and
Look
how
at the
we can
bigger
build
picture.
upon that. And then
Absolutely.
once they do that, now when a tactic, because all tactics work until they stop working,
Mhm.
just like people.
Right.
People are awesome until they're not. You don't know when,
Yeah.
but at some point they're going to fail you, whether it's through death or action. One of the two is going
Right.
to fail you, right? And so that's the thing with tactics, right? In the early teens, everybody's like, oh, Facebook, you don't need anything else. You don't even need a website. Just do a Facebook ad. And then 2014 hit, or I'm sorry, 2016 hit, iOS 14 hit,
And it
and
destroyed
oh,
everything.
shoot,
Yep.
man, $1 million agencies
Yep.
gone because they didn't have any other tactics to fall back on
Right.
because they had no strategy.
Right. No, I
That's
totally I saw so many companies go under that way. And I mean, I've seen that same process happen so many different times over the years. Like when blogging was the big thing, and then everybody was basically spam blogging in order to get SEO results. And then all of a sudden they changed the rules on, number one, duplicate content. That was the very
Mhm.
first thing that hit and just bombed everybody. The second thing is when they were doing oh, what was it?
Mobilegeddon, when everything had to go to the mobile.
Yeah, there's also that was a big one as well, and then the other one was, link farms.
Oh, that
Yeah.
was actually before the blog link
Was
farms.
it before? I thought it was
Yeah,
after,
so
but
first the
but they
link
were
farm
that was
so the
another
link
one, and
page those link pages everybody used
Mhm.
to have, and
Yeah,
that was back when we all had like, that's how we looked at newsletters anyways through
right.
that whole link farm. So, basically, you got put into a link farm on some other pages, and you do enough of those, and then
Yeah,
you get all the what we call backlinks to
right.
say all these people are there now, yeah.
Yeah,
And the
I
crazy
had a friend who lost his entire business when that happened. Like,
deal.
and I tried to warn him, and he didn't agree with me. He didn't believe me. And then when it happened, he went from, I think he was like doing like 8K a month to like $500 a month almost overnight
That
because
sucks.
it killed his entire traffic strategy.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah,
Oh, yeah. Well,
it's insane how that stuff happens.
that's because they
Um,
didn't because he was focused on the tactic, and he had absolutely no other strategy to go and no strategy to fall back on because that like you said, like,
Absolutely.
for us, we've been doing SEO since 2007,
Right.
right? So we're talking, what, 18 years now?
Mhm.
Coming up on 19, right?
Yeah.
And when Mobilegeddon came out, when the backlink, all that other stuff right there, we didn't
Mhm.
blink
Right.
because we were doing what was actually good for the end user,
Mhm. Yeah.
understanding some of the optimization that Google was looking for.
Right.
There's a thing called EEAT, right? And that's expertise, experience,
Mhm.
authority, and trust. Okay.
Right.
So trust comes from your reviews and links that come from other people's websites to yours that have higher trust level, what we call domain authority, right?
Right.
So when AI came out, everybody's like, oh, well, EAT is going to be a thing of the past. Backlinks are going to be a thing of the past. Guess what? All the AI does. It looks at EEAT because
Right.
they want to know who has the expertise and the experience and the authority and the
Mhm.
trust so that they can figure out who has the best answer because that's all the bot's looking for. Who has the most popular and respected answer?
Right.
Not the right answer because it doesn't know what right and wrong is,
Right.
right? It's a 6-year-old that has all the knowledge of the world and no context in which it lives in,
Right.
right?
Yeah, we had the same thing with email marketing when they dropped was like April of last year when they made all the rules, all the major players decided you have to email from your own personal domain, not a Gmail account, things like that. And all the major uptick of all the domain keys and stuff like that. And I mean people were losing their minds over that. And I'm like, yeah, not my clients. My clients, that's what we've been doing this for 15 years that way.
Yeah,
And my clients had no repercussions from it at all, which was
there you go.
awesome. I loved
That's
it.
awesome.
Awesome. All right, we're getting close to time here, my friend. Let's real quick. I want to make sure. I wanted to have some time to talk about your book. So give us kind of
Okay.
a quick and dirty, the rule of 26. Like share what is it? What's so amazing about it? Why should people read it?
Well, you just got it. So I was going to ask you that question. Why
Well, I
should
haven't
people
even
read
got it
it?
yet. I
I
just
know you just
ordered it.
ordered it, yeah,
You
like
haven't had a
last
chance to
night.
even
That's
sign it
hilarious.
for me yet.
So the rule of 26 actually goes back to the 50/50 marketing paradox. And I wrote it during the pandemic because I saw all of the brick and mortars having to go to online. And I had no idea what's going on. And all these marketers have all of these metrics that they say you need to track. If you go to, like, say, HubSpot, which is a CRM out there, they have
Mhm.
138 metrics, KPIs, key performance indicators you can track. I'm
Right.
telling you, as a marketer, I ain't tracking 138 KPIs. Just going to tell you that. Okay. Now,
Right.
they all have their space, but you as an owner don't need to learn marketing to get good marketing. You need to understand what metrics mean to you. And so I wrote the book, The Rule of 26. And the Rule of 26 states that if you fix 3 KPIs, improve them by 26% each, you will double the revenue from your website.
Right.
Okay. And if that's not enough for you, just do it again. And the nice thing is that 26% for each of these KPIs is not a lot. And I'm going to give you the 3 KPIs because I put it in page 28 on this anyway. And that is your traffic, your conversion rate. So how many people come to your website that actually come and engage with you, and then your average revenue per client. So the quality of leads that are becoming clients. If we can increase each of those by 26%, we'll get a leveraged output of 100. If that's not a good enough reason to get the book, don't get it.
All right. So what's the website for the book?
Ruleof26.com. You actually get it for free. I just ask you to pay the shipping and handling, and I'll sign it.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, thanks for sharing that, my friend. All right. We are getting close to time here. So we got 2 final questions for you. Last one is the easy one. How can people get a hold of you? That'll be a no-brainer.
No-brainer. Go to buzzworthy.biz.
Yeah. So, all right. So before that, though, because I got the big question. This is the Meet Cool People show, and I always love to ask people, what do the words meet cool people mean to you?
Meet cool people means finding new personalities that can shed light on the world in a different lens than myself. Those to me are the most valuable interactions. It's not enough to just find people that are like me. That's kind of boring, right? My wife, who I married, is nothing like me in many respects. Now, we do have things in common, and of course, that's what the attraction there. But when we talk about opposites attract, I look at those everywhere because those new perspectives help me grow. And if you ain't growing, you're dying. So cool people just means new perspective to me.
Awesome. Love it, my friend. Very cool. All right. So people get a hold of you. What was the website again?
Buzzworthy.biz. Buzzworthy.biz.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, thanks so much for coming and hanging out with me, my friend. This has been an awesome show. Thanks for sharing some good stuff. And for everybody else out there, get out there, have an amazing, amazing week. And if there's anything I can do to help you out, reach out, let me know. Take care. And that wraps up another Meet Cool People show. Now, if you like what you heard, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, or review so I can help introduce these amazing cool people to even more amazing cool people. And just remember, meeting cool people is just the beginning. You need to have a system in place to follow up with the amazing people that you meet. This is exactly what we do for our clients. Now, if you'd like to see if my team and I can help you, go to convertmoreclientsnow.com and check out the case study video to see exactly how we're helping our clients turn casual connections into cash clients for life. Again, go to convertmoreclientsnow.com and see how we can work together to turn you into a follow-up rock star.